Okay, so let me just clarify. If I want to build 8 units on a lot, that the minimum size would be 40 by 140.
That'll fit. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
So,
Yeah.
so if I have a lot, zoning changes right now, and it's 40 by 140, I can fit 8 units on there. Now that is seriously maximizing best use of that land, isn't it?
It is. It gets tight. It's not
Yeah.
ideal, but it can work. The design configurations we're working with will fit on that. That might look like something different, that it's a three-plex with basement suites and perhaps a double garage suite in the back to get your
Yeah.
8 units.
Okay.
Right.
So is the point here, the more units we put on that lot, the better off we're going to do? Or would it make sense if the lot is a little smaller, let's say it's 40 by 140 instead of 60 by 150, would it make sense to just do 6 units instead of 8? Like, how do you make the decision as to how many units to put on that property?
Yeah. I think, and we've gone through this analysis, and, you can actually get up to 10, but I think
Okay.
8 units is that sweet spot. The numbers work really well. I think they operate, they function and flow very well on a, operational standpoint and a property management standpoint. Six works well, as well, but if you can get the additional 2 units on there, that can make sense. So you got to think about other factors. Like, we all know the most expensive thing in this is having tenant turnover. When we're managing a property, tenant turnover or vacancies. So we want to we want to keep our tenants happy. We want them comfortable. And staying long term. I think, a 6 or 8 unit, it works well for that. 10 units might be a little bit too dense and might have, the numbers might look really well, right, on paper. But in reality, there might be a lot of tenant turnover, higher vacancy. The neighbors might not like that. It might be a little bit invasive to the neighborhood. So there might be some intangible issues that come with that.
I love what you just said, Brian. And that to me is a real investor that is really doing this as a business for years on end. That's what they say. And you know what? There's a difference between what a spreadsheet says and what reality is. And a spreadsheet can look better. We can make a spreadsheet look better by throwing more units on there. But if that's going to make us pull our hair out, or if that's going to make us not sleep at night because of tenant turnover, or our tenants aren't going to be happy because they feel jammed in, or the neighbors aren't going to be happy, then there's so many extra things that come along with it that maybe it's not better to go with the full 10. Maybe it's better to go with 8. Maybe it's better to go with that sweet spot so they all have a little bit more room. All of these things make a ton of sense. And I think for those that are listening now, just remember that regardless, whether you're building or whether you're buying something and renovating it, whatever the case might be, it doesn't just come down to how the numbers look on a spreadsheet. It also, the biggest factor really is, what kind of tenants are you going to attract? And what is your lifestyle going to be like if you have to deal with those tenants and for a long period of time? And so seriously, a good point there.